Pollution is rising in the national capital and across many major cities. It's in the very poor category in the national capital, and vehicles are a major source of that pollution. To fight that, we have with us a group of 14 people who are riding their bicycles from Mumbai to Uttarakhand to drive and literally ride that point home. We have with us Dr Anil Joshi, who's leading this team. Sir, could you tell us about the thought behind this whole movement and behind this ride that's going on?
See, the last 2 decades, we have seen that things are changing fast. And especially if you look into the rivers, rain-fed rivers, they almost have dried up. And so is the case of air quality across the country, especially in the cities. And so the forest cover, unfortunately, we are not very rich in a forest cover. And across the globe also, the new storms, new diseases are taking us. It is all because of the way we have been behaving with nature. We forgot that we cannot survive with it. So we cannot deny that the development is a very important, the human greed or whatever you can place it as that. And we have gone above needs, and we call it as a luxury, the lifestyle and so on. Now the issue is that both things have to be together. We cannot ignore the development, and at the same time no more nature negligence will be acceptable by nature. Right. So this is how we have been working. Ecology inclusive economy should be there, must be there, number one. And number two is that pragati, that we call the progress, and the prakriti, that nature, must be at one foot step. Right. And it's not the case for India only. If you look into the America, totally so advanced, but the storms that Ian had taken whole America, that does mean that you cannot control nature. The flash floods are coming across, and so many such things are happening, which say that it is a high time we really need to understand the nature. Science of nature, unfortunately, we do not know much of it. And what we know today, science, technology and so on, consumerism, we are encouraging. Well, it's fine, because the economy is ultimately has to drive us, the whole nation. And but India, I place there, is a very important country in different contexts, because we are the only country in the world who worship river, water, soil, air. Totally God and goddesses we place them as. So I think the time is that the masses understand very well nature. Unfortunately, we have forgotten. So this yatra that we are doing, it is just to connect with the local farmers, local people, local leaders, political leaders, bureaucrats, research institution, everyone, if we can do that. And that is best possible through the cycle. Padyatra, we would have done it, taken a lot of time. The cycle is one, and also will give you messages for a small distances. You can do it.
Right. So another observation that we'd love to know from you is that you've traveled so many states. From Mumbai, you've started, and now you're going to Uttarakhand. So the pollution, air quality around the national capital really starts to deteriorate. So did you feel something right when you were entering the national capital region or the area surrounding it?
Yes, I did, because when we were till up to the Madhya Pradesh, it was pretty good. And we did not have any problem. The moment I entered this Agra onward, you see, I caught a throat sore. And that was not only the thing, but today morning only, when we begin with the Faridabad, it was so smoggy. But moment I entered in Delhi, I was so surprised. The first time in Delhi, I could see the quality was not that bad it used to be earlier. Now that is one thing. Second important is, see, in across the country, I also have seen and found that as compared to 2008, because I traveled the country 2008, India is changing. That's one thing. Number two is, there is already, people are aware now that something is wrong happening, because you do not know which season you are. Yeah. Because at the time of July you need rains, but you get it in October. And at the same time, this is a November, but you know, it's a pretty hot everywhere when we were traveling. So people are now shocked that something is wrong. And we are sharing with them why it is wrong. Somewhere every citizen, every individual in this country who consume nature need to contribute. And how? By the lifestyle or something that we do around in the villages. I have seen now and also noticed that if we really want to protect nature, ultimately we'll have to go to the villages. The forests are, soil, air, everything is around village. And Delhi cannot be expected to do something to protect nature, but whatever they can do, at least they can consume less of it, will be their contribution in my opinion. But let me tell you that Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Faridabad, people were very much worried, Haryana guys, very much worried that water is being fast, they are losing. So that's all going to be a problem which they have been, and this is something which I noticed that awareness towards water is a very important. It is coming up. But the forest awareness I could not see. The Maharashtra I could not see with the forest. Madhya Pradesh there were a little. Right. And another very important thing which we were able to do that the Maharashtrian guys are doing very well, especially the farmers. Like they are very special about their farming. You see, you go to the Chandbadi who produce onion, which go to across the country, and they are very specific to the onion. So got the people body, they produce only grape. So the farmers in Maharashtra are doing very well. Madhya Pradesh, well, they have replaced their crops, but they think the better will be the crops we had earlier because the water is changing now, their crop system. But I see that Haryana, we did not have any forest at all, and right. It is going to be the mountain of garbage. Absolutely. And everywhere, every city we pass through, मुझे तो लगता है शहर खराब हो चुके.
The cities are deteriorating.
जो कुछ भी खराबी है वो शहरों की कृपा है. Right. तो but Delhi I come and I see that there are efforts well. So but the Yamuna is something which I think is showing mirror to the planners.
Right. So, and there's also another argument that people say that it's not easy to ride a bicycle every day to work. It's also hot in the capital, and it's not a lifestyle habit that everybody can adopt. What's your response to that? There's an argument of environment versus economy, that we'll have to compromise on the economy if we have to really focus on the environment.
You see, then we really need to understand nature. It won't compromise with you anymore. If you want to stop, and at least if you go back, the India was growing in the past also, and relatively we have to compare that the current economic fast growth, well, it is a support system, car, infrastructure and so on, but we cannot refuse and deny that there are something happening in the nature which cannot be compromised. If you inhale poor oxygen, I mean the air, so ultimately you are going to suffer. But to tell that at least within something which you can manage, we have to use some means of conveyance which we can do. I do not mean, but because for me the cycle was important to connect with the people in a distance, just we had possible interaction through the cycle only. But I am realizing, I feel that the cycle, because I had some youth with me, in the beginning they were a little uncomfortable with the cycle, but within 5-6 days they have all taken that we will only do the cycling at least 10 kilometers anywhere they have been going. I'm giving you a very interesting example. एक store I used to go for buying some material. तो उसने अपने जो नीचे काम करता था उससे बोला तो तू मोटरसाइकिल में क्यों आता है? ये देखो ये आदमी साइकिल में आ रहा है खरीदने के लिए. जानते हो उसने क्या जवाब दिया? कि हाँ साहब ये तो आ रहे होंगे लेकिन इज्जत भी तो कोई चीज़ है. मतलब साइकिल.
It's become a status symbol. That's driving in a car.
Symbol. Yeah, that's all things are happening. But there are two good things also and the bad thing also. Good thing is that India is changing. And ये जो highway बने हैं ना, ये खाली ट्रक और कार के लिए नहीं है. We were first time very comfortable with the highways. वो जो सफ़ेद पट्टी होती है, and we were as good as car. 60-70 kilometers, 3-4-5 hours we have been doing. So it was very, very good experience, and Well, now the time has come for the state and the government of India seriously thinking on the line that economy we are doing well now. Our claims are good. But now the time is that we have to have something on ecosystem, and therefore GDP is not the answer only. There has to be growth measure ecosystem, gross environment product. How much water you were able to use that the rain has given you. Conservation we were able to do. So the forest cover, whether we have been able to increase or not, quality of air, what is the quality that we were able to improve, and so the soil, which is ultimately likely to be the poisonous chemical fertilizer we are using. So collectively we can give a gross environment product, and that will give you where we stand in a given year ecosystem growth, and that is what we realize strongly. We see that we need it now.
Right. And through the cycles, are you also making the point that as much as it's manageable, people should take a public transport or take a cycle, but when it's not manageable, of course, you have to take your car.
It's something which you have been doing. Otherwise, I see that people are going to the gym, doing, I don't know, what do you call it, cycling. What do you call it?
Treadmill?
They have been doing cycling in the gym.
Yeah.
What is that equipped?
Treadmill?
Treadmill.
Treadmill.
Whatever they call it. But why don't they do cycling? When they go to the gym, they go in a car and do that. What is the point? Why not to do from one place, going to the gym, go into the cycle? So you see, dual behavior, our character are too different.
For longer distances, of course, you have to take a vehicle,
Yes,
but for shorter, it should be...
There is no option. You cannot, your time is also a limiting factor. But with short distances, school children, we'll have to have a cycle lane across the country. That should be the first step, and then encourage cycling, and that adds to your health also.
And as you were earlier saying that we'll all have to come to a cycle one day because the nature will force us.
It is already 100 rupees. It is likely 200, 300, 400 rupees. One can't afford it. And then we'll have to come back to cycle. Oh, let us do science, technology in a very good cycle. If we can do that, that will be wonderful. And you see, if we feel that it is a status symbol, let me tell you, most of the Europe have been doing cycling, and there is nothing as such status symbol. It may be in India because we are a changing society, and we place that lifestyle is more important than what we had in the past.
So you have 14 people in your group. I see there are people from all age groups. Yeah. The youngest member, I think, is 18 years old.
Yes.
So what was your motivation to be a part of this yatra? You're just 18 years old. You're already realizing the impacts.
नहीं, मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहूँगा कि हमने पर्यावरण को बहुत ज़्यादा गंदा कर दिया है, और अभी तक तो दिल्ली तक सही था. दिल्ली जैसे शहर काफ़ी दूषित हो चुके थे, हमने किताबों में पढ़ा था. बट अब हमारे जो उत्तराखंड जैसा राज्य है, जहाँ पे इतने ज़्यादा वन है, उन पे भी इस चीज़ का असर साफ दिख रहा है. जैसा कि हम देखते हैं, हमारे वहाँ पे भी धीरे धीरे क्लाइमेट चेंज होने लगा है, और वह हम तो अपने पर्यावरण को यहाँ पे संरक्षित कर रहे हैं, बट जो लोग इस चीज़ को समझ नहीं रहे, उन लोगों की वजह से हमारा पर्यावरण भी गंदा हो रहा है.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. So as you heard, this is a team of 14 people who are on their cycle from Mumbai to Uttarakhand. They say they're traveling from the economic capital to the environmental capital. And you also heard Padma Bhushan, Dr Anil Joshi, who says that it's time that we realize this, and one day we're all going to come down to cycles. The nature is going to force us to do that. In New Delhi, with camera person Ashwini Mehra, Priyanshi Sharma for NDTV.